What's up, witches? It's me, Luna, here with another deep dive test drive. This time it's an oracle deck, and you will be absolutely stunned to learn that this was a gift from my daughter for my birthday. And yay, I'm getting around to unboxing them all, you know. This is Paolo Barbieri, Dante's Inferno Oracle Cards by Lo Scarabeo. Paolo Barbieri. I have the Barbieri cats. I've got an astrology one. I can't remember if I have more. Book plus 36 oracle cards. The fascinating and symbolic descent into Dante's Inferno experience through Paolo Barbieri's incredible illustrations. So we have a nice two-part box, just black inside. And, well, let's pull these out. And a little ribbon pull. So we have several languages, of course, because this is LS. We have English, Italian, Spanish, and Portuguese. That always kind of cracks me up when it's like Spanish and Portuguese rather than Spanish and German. Do they ever have German? I don't know, because Spanish and Portuguese are so similar. This is 2023. The English section is... Okay. The English section is thicker than the other language sections, interestingly. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward pathway had been lost. These words begin the epic poem, The Divine Comedy, widely regarded as one of the greatest masterworks of Western literature. Composed by the Italian writer, poet, and philosopher Dante Alighieri, and completed in 1321, the narrative is divided into three cantiche parts, which follow the adventures of Dante as he makes his way through hell, purgatory, and finally heaven itself. Of these three portions of the poem, the most popular has always been Inferno, or Hell. Beloved for its vivid and terrifying depictions of the underworld, its rich language, memorable characters, and its ability to speak clearly about the darkness of the human soul. More than 700 years since the day it was published, readers all across the globe are still discovering the wonders of this story and finding that its words echo within their very souls. All hope abandon, ye who enter here. The Inferno Oracle will challenge you. It is not a gentle deck, and its imagery is by turns violent, horrific, and heartbreaking. Just like the poem it is based on, it understands the depths of human pain and loss, holding up a mirror wherein we can find the incredible torment we experience in this life reflected back to us. For this reason, it is a powerful tool exploring the shape of our shadow. I like that, the shape of our shadow. This deck doesn't mince words or offer pretty excuses, and instead gets right to the heart of the matter, the ways in which we have been the author of our own misery. As harsh as that may sound, embracing this idea allows us to confront our inner saboteur and find new ways of being that will restore balance and harmony and allow healing to begin. I'm excited. I like a good dark deck. I just really hope that it fulfills the promise. And I wanted to look here because illustrations by Paolo Bar. Okay. Oh, companion booklet by Charles Harrington. Now I'm even more excited because, and I knew that back in August when I opened this present, I knew that, but I had forgotten. And Charles Harrington, see, that name is not anywhere on the outside. I had to look in the copyright to find that, which bums me out. But Charles Harrington's writing is spectacular. I have Journey of a Lonely Soul. He wrote that book, and that one just bowled me over. Okay, so how to read with the Inferno Oracle. Before you begin, look through all the cards in the deck. Note your first impressions. Consider your question. Is there a particular challenge you wish to overcome? Take courage and shuffle the cards until they feel right to you. Cut the deck and turn over the top card. Spend a moment exploring all the nuances of the image. So it goes on. Let's see. For added depth, you may also wish to read the original canto from the poem noted in the guidebook. Well, that's cool. Then we have the Divine Comedy spread. which is Inferno on the bottom, Purgatorio in the middle, and Paradiso on the top. So inner shadow work, the work that can be done in your day-to-day life and in your relationships, and higher work of the spirit. That's really cool. Note that the cards rise up one after the other. The deeper shadow work must come before we can move on to greater and higher things. And then we're just straight into the cards. We get a verse from and which canto it is, the journey, which looks like a description of the image, and then divination. And that's all. Now, let's see at the end. We don't get any mention, really, of Paolo Barbieri and his art. Okay, I read all of that. How interesting is that? There's no bio, there's no, about the artist. In the back, we get several pages to keep very small notes. And if you look at the other languages, we get that tiny introduction, a much smaller okay. My brain just went brrr. Let's zoom in. My brain is a little hinky today. And yes, I took my meds. Here are the backs. So obviously we're not doing reversals. And I assume that this is Paolo Barbieri's artwork as well. But we have kind of a plain, well, not really plain, but it's attractive. Card back. We start with Beasts of the Wild. Wow. Very descriptive there. Golden Muse. Ooh, look how beautiful. I like the softness of the images. Paolo Barbieri's artwork is stunning. It's exquisitely beautiful. So you're not going to get any complaints from me there. Threshold of Adventure. Look at this towering and the concentric like terraces. Just beautiful. Really luminous. Eternal Embrace. Look at the long limbs. I don't know who these legs belong to down here. Oh, and there's this huge blade coming through both of them. Wow. Empress of Desire. I will admit here that I don't really know anything about Inferno. I've never read it. I never had to study it. We were discussing this the other day about, I've never read Beowulf. I never had to. Never read Gilgamesh. Never had to in college. So here's Empress of Desire. Judge of Souls. Oh, dear. Wow. Look at the serpenty. Is that him coiled around himself or something else? I can't tell if that's the serpent head. I think maybe it is. Hound of the Underworld. Wow. Yeah, Barbieri certainly can dish up some horror and fantasy and wow. Roiling Torment. Look at the smoke. Price of the Ferryman. Charon, was that his name? Charon? I think that's how it's pronounced. That you have to give a penny to him so he will ferry your soul into the underworld. Here's City of the Damned. Oh my God. This looks like a mouth. There's an eyeball. Wow. Diabolical Warden. It reminds me a little bit of Geiger. I can't remember his name. Anyway. Lord of the Wastes. Emissary of Heaven. Wow. Handmaidens of Malice. I feel like, the decks Notaria and Goetia. I feel like this is what they were going for. Sorry. Handmaidens of Malice. Tomb of the Heretics. Wrath of the Minotaur. Look at those horns. Oh my God. Grove of Lamentations. Just look at this being trapped and held, and it's just so gnarly. Unbending Giant. Wow. Flaming Rain. River of Blood. Goodness gracious. Embodiment of Deceit. Look how the mouth comes down and just goes into this smoky. Barbed Minions. Again, the spires coming up from this bridge. Seduction in the Shadows. Oh my. Beast of Corruption. I feel like I should recognize a few of those faces. Lunar Exile. The names, it's interesting, but the names aren't really like evoking what they might mean, most of them. I haven't really been thinking about them too much. Twisted Soothsayers. Holy shit. Their heads are on backwards. Okay. Viper's Sting. Ow. Thief of Forms. Dang. So I wonder if these are like actual titles of things that you encounter in the Inferno. Mythic Mischief Makers. Unforgiven Friar. Yikes. Sowers of Discord. I can imagine a few people there too. Inhuman Antagonists. Mystifying Architect. Look at that. Wow. Barbieri has the ability to create things that just look massive, that you can feel the weight of them. And it's not just by perspective either, by, those, so you put something small next to it. You look at these things and I can feel the mass. Treacherous Garden. Again, we've got this structure that looks like a really grotesque, corrupted face. Rebuked Traitor. Wow. Looks like he's coated in glass or plastic or something. Tears of the Lord of Hell. Massive hand. Welcome Respite. Or Respite, as some people say. Okay, now, as I said before, I've never read Inferno, or obviously the other two parts, but I was thinking how cool it would be to have a deck that has, Inferno and, was it Purgatorio and Paradiso, that it would have, 3 sections with for each one. That would be cool. Let's give this a blessing. Let's give the Inferno a blessing. This ought to go well. Let's bless hell. Okay? Because, they're kind of short on blessings down there. If I can find a place to actually light this sage. All right. Close enough. By air and fire, may you be. Wow. Okay, my brain is struggling so hard today, and I'm not exactly sure why. But let's do that again. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged. For a second there, just the word purified would not come to my mind at all. Is that the influence of the Inferno? I don't know, but it's fascinating. By water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And by the sound of the bell, may all negativity be cleared, and may the spirit enter in. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors of all the realms, I thank you for being here. I invite you to be here and to help me bring forth a good reading from this deck. And I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael, and blessings, of course, to Paolo Barbieri and to Charles Harrington. The fire of Azrael to bring in the spirit of divination. All right, let's shuffle. No apprehension whatsoever. It fits easily in the hand. It's only 36 cards. The card stock is nice. Glossy, normal card stock. The only thing I don't really like about this cardstock is it does tend to stay bent a little bit when you shuffle. But let's do another riffle, and then we will cut. And all right. Ooh, shooting them right out. So let's do, well, we've got 3. Let's do that reading, the 3 card, and see where we get. So what was it again? It was Inferno, the inner shadow work that we have to do, Purgatorio in day-to-day life and relationships, and then Paradiso, the higher work of spirit. Now, if these are consecutive, I'll put them back and shuffle some more. So, inhuman antagonists, diabolical warden, and judge of souls. So we have 31, 11, and 6. That's how you know you got a good mix. Now in the book, they show this one going this way. So just for funsies, we'll do that. All right. So the inner shadow work that must be done to free our collective soul. I didn't even really get to formulate a question, but you know. But never yet was Trojan fury found, nor that of Thebes to sting so cruelly brute beasts. Okay. Never yet was Trojan fury found, nor that of Thebes to sting so cruelly brute beasts, far less the human form to wound, as 2 pale naked shades were stung, whom I saw biting run, like swine when they escape famished and eager from the empty sty. Okay, so saw biting run, famished and eager from the empty sty. The journey among the falsifiers, those who misrepresented themselves. Dante is amazed at the sight of them tearing at each other's flesh like wild beasts. The falsifiers who misrepresented themselves. So our collective shadow. This is from Canto 30, by the way. Divination. In the poem, those who try to disguise themselves or hide their true identity lose all sense of self and revert to a feral state. For reasons of shame, doubt, or self-loathing, we may pretend to be something we are not. We may wish people to see or treat us differently, but we cannot maintain the fiction without losing a piece of our soul. This card is a reminder to let your true light shine forth. Be proud of who you are and what you have accomplished, and others will see and celebrate the glorious and genuine you. And that's why I like Charles Harrington's writing. It's very clear, it's very concise, and it delivers messages. So the collective inner shadow work that we need to do is to stop misrepresenting ourselves. Let's go from the individual to the collective. So it does give me a few vibes here of imposter syndrome, talking about we may pretend to be something we're not. And we do that because we ourselves don't value who we truly are. And we degrade and downvalue our own gifts while we amplify the gifts, what we perceive as the gifts of others. And so we won't put our own work out, but we try to be something we're not. And, on a mass level, as our collective shadow, boy, do we have a whole bunch of people misrepresenting themselves, right? Saying they're going to do things that they are not going to do or can't do or won't do, just making shit up all over the place. So, and look at these people tearing each other apart. So if everybody misrepresents themselves to everybody else, sooner or later, as the book said, that fiction gets revealed. And then people start to tear each other apart. Let me go back and look again. Yes, self-loathing. We can't maintain the fiction without losing a piece of our soul. So, your own mind and spirit knows when you are behaving in a way that's disrespectful to self, to soul, to your own beingness. And you're going to feel the repercussions in there somewhere. You think you can hide that from yourself, but you can't. You're absorbing it on some level. And every time you say something to somebody else that is dismissive of who you are or what you've done, your deep mind hears that and acknowledges it. And so you lose a little bit of faith in yourself. You split apart, a piece of yourself, and you start to literally disintegrate. Okay, so next one. The work that can be done in your day-to-day life and in your relationships with others. And this is Diabolical Warden, number 11. Day-to-day life, relationships with others. So this is purgatory. More than 1,000 who from heaven were cast I saw above the gates, who furiously demanded, who, ere death on him has passed, holds through the region of the dead his way. Okay, the language is difficult. Who, before death has passed, holds through the region of the dead his way. Holds through the region of the dead his way. Holds his way through the region of the dead? I don't really know what that means. So the journey, this is Canto 8. As Dante and Virgil reach the gates of the foul city of Dis, they are confronted by a horde of demons who demand that the living poet retreat back the way he came. Though they dwell in a pit of darkness, all demons retain some of the memory of the glory of their days in heaven. It is the pain of this memory that causes them to lash out at all within their domain. The shadow is a part of ourselves we have buried deep down so no others can see it. Without realizing, we easily project it onto others. Consider whether intense emotions of anger may be born from a hidden or unhealed hurt within. Perhaps what you dislike in your enemy is a fragment of yourself. Open your eyes to see the shadow within, and it will not have power over you. Okay, so what I get from this, what we can do in our day-to-day life, and it's a fast-track practice, in my opinion, in my experience, that whatever is driving you insane about somebody, at work, in your neighborhood, at whatever, you're just like, oh, I hate this about that person. And you can literally hold up a mirror, or you can figuratively look at yourself and say, how am I like that? Find how you are that very same thing, because it wouldn't bug you so much if it weren't part of you. It wouldn't bug you on that visceral level. You can look at people and go, oh my God, they're insane. It drives me nuts. But it doesn't really cause an emotional upheaval. But when it does cause that emotional upheaval, that is a sure sign that there's something in you, that very same thing in you, that you need to look at and heal. So take that practice into your everyday life. How am I like that? And just keep working on yourself. You can't change those other people. You really can't. But you can help the entire planet by removing a person that's like that. And that would be you, removing those traits from yourself, you know? Okay, next up is the Paradiso. And that is the higher work of the spirit that can be done to achieve your greatest and highest good collectively. So, all right, let's just go. This is number 6. I'm thinking about, collectively. And yeah, just collectively noting, and we've been doing this for years now, what is toxic in our own culture and looking to take care of that rather than just blaming it on the other. Now, at the top, Judge of Souls. There, Minos stands in horrid guise and snarls. Inside the entrance, he examines sins, judges, and as he girds himself, commits. Canto 5. The Journey. Dante encounters Minos, the ruthless king of ancient Crete, who stands at the entrance to hell. His supreme will commands each incoming soul to confess their misdeeds in life, and he dispatches them directly to the lower plane that most suits their sins. Divination. Compassion and empathy are wonderful virtues, but there are times when your head must rule your heart. This card reminds us that there are hard, often painful choices we must make, and we should not give in to the temptation to take the gentler path that would satisfy others. Minos' unrelenting gaze sees past all our explanations and justifications, comprehending the cold, hard facts. At this time, you must have ice water in your veins. Demand the truth from everyone, including yourself. Set passion aside and take the course of action that is wisest and most prudent. So interestingly, this one is, comes out with compassion and empathy, and I'm right away keying into those. Oh, that's the highest level. It says set those aside and use your head. So the highest level here says to really stick with facts and evidence before we make our judgments. So we're not going to go, compassionate and empathy. Oh, this poor person is hurting. That's why they're such an asshole. But instead, we are going to look at someone's behavior and the facts of their behavior, their words, the way they treat other people, all of that, and make a judgment. That person does not behave like a good person. That person does not have good intentions for me and mine. So the highest that we can do right now is to get out of our feels and look with our clear mind at cold, hard facts. So we come down here where the lowest here talks about people misrepresenting themselves. We're in the middle. Okay, what was the middle again? Let me go back. Do you see what's taking shape here? Lashing out, projecting onto others. Okay, emotions of anger from a hidden hurt. So this is talking about healing ourselves first. And we have people misrepresenting themselves when the anger rises up in us rather than feeding the vitriol and lashing out at them. Let's look at what we can heal in ourselves. Maybe that's what we sort of put out there is leading people to see how this is something that is across the board. In our society and culture, we try to keep from projecting our stuff onto other people. So you deal where you have the power, which is right here. And then at the end, just being very clear-eyed. When you think about somebody, sorry, politics, but, like George Santos, talk about misrepresenting yourself. And, he sucked in a lot of people by being, supposedly a sympathetic character and a nice guy or whatever, however he managed to do it. But, we need to be very clear-eyed so that we don't fall for misrepresentations. And here is where we make sure that, we're not throwing stones from a glass house, I guess, and projecting outward what we really need to heal in ourselves. Okay, give me a second here. So we can also, be very clear-eyed about ourselves and about our shared humanity. And just because we might not be the one misrepresenting ourselves right now, we have been in the past. Certainly we have. So again, on that individual basis, stop lying to yourself. Be very clear about everything that's going on. Really bring your focus centered back here. What do I need to work on in myself to bring my best self forward to the planet? Okay, I think that's as far as I'm going to go with that. This is a nice short video. Yay! I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed this deck. Let me know what you think. I mean, obviously, this is going to be one hell of a deck. One inferno of a deck for shadow work. And you also get to enjoy Paolo Barbieri in the meantime, and Charles Harrington. So let me know what you think of this deck. And let's have a conversation down below. Hit the like on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't. I will see you next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.